Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my channel. My name's Raider Ace. I wanted to do a video about an article that I actually wrote. Now, I wrote the article a while ago. It's on my website, tiradebrigade.com. It's kind of like a shitty WordPress site, but it's super slow. Basically, I actually wrote this article back in November 9th of 2019. It's almost a year ago, essentially. But the title of the article at the time was Next Batman Game, 10 Things We'd Like to See. Now, as we know, since November 9th, when I wrote the article, we had the announcement of Batman, or Gotham Knights rather. Though this one particularly doesn't have Batman, but you get the idea. We're getting to play in that universe with some of those characters that we love: Nightwing, Batgirl, Robin, Red Hood, and some of the things that they came out with is actually going to be in this article already. So check it out here. This is Gotham Knights top 10 gameplay wish list. All right, so number one, I had here multiplayer / co-op. I want developers to know that multiplayer and co-op with friends would be the next mechanic to keep the franchise fresh. Implementing this would spice up the gameplay and enhance replayability. So that's what I wrote number one for my gameplay wish list for the next Batman game. And sure enough, Gotham Knights comes out, is announced, and that's what we have. We have co-op gameplay, which is going to be phenomenal, which is awesome. I don't think we've really had like a co-op Batman game since Batman Rise of the Sin Tzu, if I'm saying that correctly, which is like, this game based off of the animated universe. Anyway, so that was number one on my list. I'm glad that's coming over. So I'll jump now to number two. So we had number two on my list for Gotham Knights would be a Spider-Man-esque grapnel swing. So as an Xbox player, I was not able to play the critically acclaimed Spider-Man PS4 game. That won't be changing anytime soon. The next Batman game has an opportunity to borrow the traversal element of swinging from Spider-Man PS4. And after 3 games of grapnel boosting and gliding, I believe adding like a casual grapnel swing mechanic for Batman would look stunning and feel exhilarating as we traverse through that city. It would make up for the Batmobile not returning if that were the case, but it seems like in Gotham Knight vehicles will return. But yeah, if vehicles do return, the more ways to move, the better, essentially, right? So, just that element of that beautiful element of playing a Spider-Man game and just being able to swing freely and kind of acrobatically. I'm not sure it would be that in depth, but it might feel more something like I don't know if you've ever played Bionic Commando, like the grapnel swing into that. It might feel more like that per se if it were introduced into a Batman game. But I just think the element of just having a free swing of grappling and swinging to where you want to go to the next ledge or something would just be a phenomenal addition to Gotham Knights specifically. So if they could add that, that'd be great. Now, number 3 on my list, I have Batfamily Free Roam. Again, coming back to that Batfamily, you have a lot to choose from regarding multiplayer. The 4 main sidekicks, Dick, Nightwing, in the article I go into everybody. So I say Damian and Batgirl, Cassandra Cain, spoiler, I bring everybody. And again, this is me reading the article. So I say, bring gender diversity. I'm saying the Batgirls, those female characters, they bring gender diversity or whatever. That's a big thing nowadays. They're badass too. Honorable mentions would be like Huntress, Batwing, Azrael. His Odyssey suit is pretty wicked. And even if multiplayer is a no-go, just having additional characters finally be able to free roam in the city is a top priority. And also Batman Arkham Knight took a step backwards with unique gadgets for other characters as well. Like we lost the kind of the knockout darts or the paralyzer dart, sleeper dart, whatever that Nightwing had and stuff like that. It was just more of the standard stuff we've already had before when it came to Arkham Knight. Yeah, just being able to have more characters and use them outside of the challenge modes, integrated to the story. Being able to use the city. I mean, I got a PC now, and when I play Arkham Knight, it's a refreshing experience, to be able to use Red Hood, like using the mods, use Red Hood, Batfamily, and Nightwing, and just traverse the city, So just seeing their characters integrated a little bit more thoughtfully into the universe and intentionally would also be another fresh thing. So, and that's happening with Gotham Knights as well, right? So that's going to be awesome to see. Now, for number 4 on the list in this article, I had better boss battles. And again, so now that we know Gotham Knights is coming out, we've seen some of the boss battles. So I would just like to say, in the article here, I'll read a bit of the article. So what I was saying at the time was, one critique of the Batman Arkham Knight surrounded the boss battles. They were non-existent or relegated to like tank drone stealth missions. So, let the record be known, tank plus stealth is not really that fun. I mean, it's a terrible combination. Tanks are such a loud, bombastic type of weapon. And such a tool, and you're gonna make a stealth around in that. It's like that's a clash of ideas for sure. So the bosses need to be like have more offensive technique, like give them more offensive repertoires. Like one of the cool things was that Mr. Freeze, he was able to learn and adapt in Arkham City to what you were doing and change the atmosphere. But even just giving the new bosses like more offensive tools, like everybody. Looking back on the Arkham games, like everybody kind of comes at you with that right jab or the left jab or something like that, or maybe a kick every now and again. And it's like, you give the NPCs or just the bosses in general, or especially the bosses, more ways to like take us down. Like I promise you, like we're Batman, we're gonna use those tools. Like we got more than enough tools to stun these guys and do things like so giving them a little bit more offensive repertoire would certainly make the game a little bit more challenging, because the only way they're ever beating you is just sheer numbers. Introducing some enemies that could, maybe like again, the Talons, right? That's always been a foe that can, kind of give Batman a run for his money at any given time, right? With especially if you have like 3 of them at the least, right? So yeah, certainly better boss battles and just, giving our foes a little bit more of an offensive chance against us. So number 5, we have diverse skins on the list for the article. And again, we've seen Gotham Knight now, like the trailers, we're noticing differences between I believe it was Red Robin or sorry, Tim Drake, Robin, whatever. But basically we saw his kind of Red Robin look a little bit more. We saw Batgirl. She had the more kind of, what was she wearing? Like in the basic introductory of the game, she has that more superhero girls look, right? DC superhero girls. That's the kind of look that they now have in the Rebirth for her. But we see as the game goes on and she progresses, she's back to that cowl kind of thing, and I'm not talking Burnside. I'm talking, that real kind of New 52 look, that previous New Earth look, which is refreshing to see for sure. So again, going back to the diverse skins, I'd like to see, I know they said in this particular game they're gonna have like different suit styles. So I definitely would love to see suit styles for those characters. So another noteworthy aspect of the Batman Arkham franchise was the character skins. So my personal favorite is always been the Batman Beyond skin. Furthermore, how cool would it be to have Nightwing in his own Batman suit, or Red Hood in his own suit from Batman Battle for the Cowl? And more skins, because there's no such thing as too many skins. Also, like the Spider-Man skins brought additional abilities to the game, and you can draw from this feature very easily. Like for example, Batman Beyond is a unique suit that is like capable of flight, among a bunch of other things, but the flight specifically, right? And invisibility and stuff like that. Like this mechanic alone can elevate the gameplay variety. So that's something they should definitely focus on, and I'm sure, with the suit styles, maybe that will play a role. But again, and going back to just that, a lot of these characters have a rich history. And I know even Nightwing's Batman suit was in Arkham Knight, but it was on the Batman mode. And I'm thinking how cool would it be to have a Batman suit on the Nightwing character? So the Nightwing character gameplay stays the same, but he's just dressed as Batman. Go ahead and do that. That'd be really cool to see. Especially with that dual play feature, Nightwing in his own Batman suit that he wore in the comics when, he was partnered up with Damian alongside Bruce Wayne's Batman, and he's got the Eskrima stick still, and he's still, his own fighting style and doing his thing. That would be just phenomenal to see. And again, add like so much gameplay, and even if they wanted like this, you want to put your own stamp on everybody getting their own Batman suit and switch it up from what was in the comics or whatever and make your own thing. Yeah, people do that all the time. So I just think that would be cool, especially because if you remember Battle for the Cowl, or if you ever read it, Jason Todd, who was Red Hood, he had like this cool armored, he had like yellow glowy eyes, he was running around with guns, but he was very armored up, looked very badass. Like, so and Tim Drake wore the suit and fought him in his own Batman suit, in a Batman suit of his own as well. So it was just, so certainly seeing those characters, and again with Tim, there's the Batman of Tomorrow stuff. So certainly seeing those characters take on the mantle and still have their own identity, their own play style, their own moveset would just be a lot of fun to see. So let's go number 6. So number 6 in the article, we have new enemy moves, sets, and types. And I kind of touched that on this before, back when I was talking about boss battles, better boss battles in number 4. But yeah, basically, let's see what I say in the article here. So basically, Batman Arkham has done amazing with the enemies we encounter. And I'd like to see enemy types from across each game may all make a return in the new one. Don't be afraid to give them more offensive capability. So again, yeah, like I'm picturing enemies with guns, gaining the ability to hit you if you're too close, or while they're reloading, expanding the martial artist encounter enemy type to be more common, and maybe a few metahuman grunts capable of tossing like, your character, Batman, whoever, off a roof. So that's what I say in the article. Like the enemies have been good, but I just mean like, why is the thug reloading right as I get to him with a gun? Like, you should be able to like to shoot and stuff like that. But I'm gonna delete this. Give the enemies some more offensive weapons and offensive things to do. Like, what I'm saying? Like ways to hurt us, because like by the end of those games you get very OP and stuff. And I'm not saying it's not impossible to die and things, but it's like, it'd be nice to like be threatened by a single enemy at some point, if or be able to be caught lacking, for lack of a better term, so you always kind of, even if it's just one thug, but I don't know. So number 7, we have dynamic gameplay freedom. So due to the Batmobile experience, our community would agree that more freedom to overcome the challenges we face as Batman is what we want. And even in the Predator sections of the previous games, if you were skilled enough, you could lure all the enemies and use free-flow combat and quick gadgets to take them down. So in Batman Arkham Knight, you have a device that will disrupt and self-destruct the tank drones. But due to the game forcing you to play the Batmobile, you can't use it on the Cobra tanks. Sometimes the game won't even allow you to get out at that section, right? Like and I guess my point in saying that is like allow players to approach your game with the tools you provide, and don't kind of force them into a play style when another option is available. It will bring more fun and longevity to the game. Like if you can complete a section in numerous ways rather than one way that may be unfavorable. Like, because if I don't like that tank section of the game, well, now there's a whole section I've got to play as the tank. And I'm like, well, it makes it harder for me to want to come back. Even if I enjoy the game for the most part, it makes it harder for me to want to come back and stick it out through that section that I'm not enjoying. Where if that's an option, but you give us more options as Batman, to say, yeah, you know what, I'm going to take it on foot, or there's another way to enjoy it, even if it's longer, whatever. Just give us more options as Batman, with your gameplay freedom. Don't confine us. Like, I like Predator sessions and they have their moment, but I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm the kind of guy where, man, I disarm everybody or try to lure them out and I'm just busting their head, man, in free flow combat. Like, I like to do that. Or there's a section in Arkham Origins where you have to like sneak into the GCPD, and it's like there's a group of cops just in the room. I don't know, they're huddling and you're in their meeting or something like that, and I'm just like, you have the choice to just go back past them to get to your objective, or you can drop down and like crack their skull, and that's what I love to do every time. Like, challenge myself. Like I fight them, and it's just very rewarding to actually win. Like, even though it's a hard fight, because it's just so many of them. Yeah, so dynamic gameplay freedom, give us that opportunity to handle shit the way we want to and to beat the game in numerous different ways. Don't combine us, don't pigeonhole us. So that's what I was trying to say with that. So on to number 8. More foot and Batmobile chases. So, and I linked to Angry Joe here. I said he said it best in his critique in his Angry Joe review, saying no more than 3 times regarding the Bat Tank stealth drone combat. So it's like, once you crack that 3rd time, it's like, okay, this is kind of running its course and becoming a chore rather than like a fun experience. So the rooftop parkour chasing with the assassin from Batman Arkham City would be a welcome return. So yeah, like that was a lot of fun, like, just chasing that one ninja across the roof, like, same with the sequences and the car takedown from the Arkham Knight. Yeah, like, the moments where we're running after people in the car and stuff, that was a lot of fun too. So there's opportunity to dive deeper and explore those mechanics for like the next Batman game, which is now, as we know, is now Gotham Knights. So here, number 9, I had Populated City. So, connecting the people of Gotham City is long overdue. Need a game where we can tangibly interact, save civilians or what have you, even if they're running around. The way criminals respond to Batman is always funny and interesting. So I can only imagine how cool it would be saving pedestrians and stuff like that. Picture Mooks kidnapping hostages, or like, how Spider-Man has those like just random events that are happening, right? Like you can picture that in a Batman game where they're kidnapping people, using civilians as distractions to save, or triggering us to chase them and whatever, like, what I'm saying? So just something like that would be interesting, some food for thought. So we'll see what Gotham City or Gotham Knights does. As we know, they do have pedestrians. We have seen it in that clip with Mr. Freeze. So we've seen the vehicles, we've seen like pedestrians running around. So we'll get to see how that's integrated into the game any further. For my final point here, number 10, I had day and night cycle. So finally, like, every Batman game has taken place over a single night, especially the Arkhamverse. Only daytime crime fighting we experienced was through that Nightwing story pack and GCPD challenge map. So a day and night cycle would spruce up the visual imagery in Gotham Knights. So I think they already confirmed that most of our activities will take place during the night. And that's not like the biggest issue or concern, whatever. Like, that's when they operate for the most part. So, but it was just a suggestion, and that's why it's number 10, right? It's kind of one of the lesser important things. But again, we've gotten a lot of Gotham Knights has actually delivered on a lot of this. Like, taking a look here. They said technically day and night cycle will be there in the sense that when you're in the Belfry, it'll be daytime. So that's kind of checked off. Populated City, that's going to be checked off. They got vehicles, so the chases might be checked off for number 8 there. Dynamic gameplay freedom, they've talked about that. They've got whole skill trees, so that's going to be checked off. Let's see, new enemies and stuff. We're getting a whole new revamped style of combat. It's not going to be the free flow, so we can expect that to be checked off. Diverse skins, like we got suit styles, as we know, we've seen it in the trailer, so that's probably going to be checked off. Better boss battles, who's to say it will be better? But again, the whole vibe has changed up. Like, this is like, we're seeing Mr. Freeze, he's walking around, he's tanking all their hits and stuff like that. So I'm gonna check that one off. Especially, I don't think it will be hard to top Arkham Knight. So we can probably expect better boss battles in Gotham Knights. And Batfamily free roam, we've got that checked off. So the only thing really, because multiplayer co-op is checked off as well, so the only thing was that second option here where I said Spider-Man-esque Grapnel Swing. Like, that's the only thing that Gotham Knights hasn't delivered on from my list. So I'm very happy at this point to see, because everything else is at least hinting and going toward the direction that I was looking for in the first place. So I just want to shout out the team. I think it's WB Montreal that's making the game, and thank you for doing such a great job and bringing such a great world that many of us are fans of to life. It's been a lot of fun. So what we're seeing, I'm very excited. So hopefully that energy will continue to grow as more information is released about the game. So again, this is it for me. I'm Tyrader Ace. And again, if you can do that Spider-Man swing, please do that, because going to be a lot of guys on Xbox who are not going to be able to experience the joy of swinging through a city. So definitely do that for people, man, if you can, right? So, but that's all I have to say. So this has been my Gotham Knights wish list for the next Batman game. And I just want to thank you guys for tuning in, and hope you guys have a great day. comment, like, and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Take care. Bye.